Mr. Tucker, what's going on?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Trying to stay safe, trying to keep my spirits up, with these crazy times.
Crazy, crazy, man. Okay, everyone's doing well. Family's doing well. Everything's doing good.
Everybody's doing well. The family's doing well. The wife is doing well. Everything's good. No complaints.
Perfect, perfect. Well, thank you again for taking the time out to speak with us. We definitely appreciate it. As you guys know, we today is voter registration day, and we
Yes,
just
yes,
wanted to
yes.
make sure we give some more information and urge people to vote. So we definitely wanted to talk to Mr. Todd Tucker. He has a new nonprofit that he has been talking
Well,
about and has
well,
been
wait.
working on.
I don't have a nonprofit,
Oh,
but
I lied. Go ahead.
it's more of a movement.
Okay.
Myself and a few friends came together to just kind of motivate and get people out there to register to vote, and just push people to understand the power that they have, and that we have to get out here and vote and let our voices be heard. It's called I'mAman.vote.
Nice.
Go to our website. Yeah, you can kind of click through, and it'll show you what you need to do to register and get yourself ready. So we're gonna make some change. We're gonna make some change.
So even kicking it off, like where did this come from? The initiative to really focus on getting people to vote.
I just think, I think the numbers, like, it's 4 million new possible new young voters.
Mm-hmm.
So people that can register that's turning 18 years old, and
Right.
just our voice. We're very powerful, and at times we don't know our power.
Right.
And it's just we have to engage. We have to be a part of the process. We got to be a part of the change. We got to get out. And I feel like, myself. So it's myself, Anthony Mackie, Omar Dorsey, Quinn, and Kellen that came together to do this. Just a couple of guys that we hang out and kick it. It was like we got to do our part to get people out there to register and make sure that when it's time to vote, that we're pushing them to go handle their business.
Right, right. I was looking at the website and I saw that, it was, nonpartisan. Why do you think it was so important to not be trying to sway people to any particular side and just trying to get them the ability to vote as a whole,
Well, because I think first you got to understand the importance of just registering. You know what I mean?
Right.
So let's start there. And I think that's the key part. Get registered. And then after that, it's educating yourself on who's running. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, just because I'm going one way don't mean once you read up and do, your own research that you might feel a little differently. So my thing is, I don't want to sway anybody in any direction. I really want them to go out there and read the information for themselves.
Right.
And, make the call themselves.
So even for you, there's so much misinformation and so much fake news out there. How do you kind of weave through all of that?
How do you sift through all of that?
Yeah.
It's very challenging. It's very challenging. But the thing is, you have to do the work. You got to put in some work. You know what I mean? Like, you got to research, what's going on, who's running for what, local offices, all the way up to the president. You got to do some research and read for yourself, and not just listen to what you see or hear on a blog or, on the news sometime either. So you got to do some legwork, but it's a very important time, and we got to understand we have to do the legwork, put in the work. Like, even going to register to vote, there's going to be obstacles. You're going to have to wait a long time, but, we're going to have to get out there and do it, and I hope that when it's time to vote, that I can be a part of just making sure I'm helping people be a little more comfortable as they try to go vote and while they're out there. So I'm trying to work on that to figure out how I can work, how I can just be helpful with that as well.
Perfect. And we definitely commend you on doing the work, man. Definitely just leaders, we always talk about people, public figures using their platforms to kind of push the masses,
Yeah, and it's hard because, you're just trying to figure out what your lane is in it. Like for myself, like I'm not a real political dude. I don't know, I don't know everything, but I definitely know I want to help my community, help push my community forward, and just kind of be a voice. And, I'm not always going to be right, but, I'm going to be out there just trying to do my part. And I think that's important. If we all just do a part, then, we'll be a lot further ahead.
Right. And why do you think it's so important for not just the primary elections? There's so much conversation gets held about the primary elections and the president, which is very important, but those local levels is super important as well.
I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes it feels like at times the local levels are a lot more important because it affects you directly. You know, just
Right.
kind of things that's happening in your community, different rules, different laws that that change. And if you're not in, if you're not part of the conversation, don't understand who you're voting for and what
Right.
just kind of what their outlook is. At times you're voting for the wrong person or not voting at all, and things are happening, and you can't complain if you're not a part of it.
Right.
So you got to get in, like I said, do the leg work, little research, read up on who's running for who's running in, and then at that point you can make a better decision.
Right, right. So what are your thoughts? I've been hearing in the news, and Florida has done some things on felonies actually being able to vote, which I think is like monumental. What's your thoughts on that?
What about felons being able to vote?
Felons being able to vote, yeah.
Well, for me, man, I think everybody deserves a second chance. You know what I mean? Like, I even think with felons, man, after a certain point, we need to erase. You did your time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At a certain point, I think some of those things that they got themselves into should be erased so they can start over, man. Right. So as far as being able to vote, I definitely think they should have a right. Their voice should be heard as well.
Yeah.
Do they pay taxes?
They do.
So why can't their voice be heard? You know what I mean? Exactly. Like they got to pay taxes and do everything else like everybody else. They just made a mistake.
Yep.
And they've paid, they paid for their mistake, and it's like, yeah, let's engage them as well.
Right, right. And another question for you. The messaging kind of seems a little different this time around. Do you think that this election is different from the others and just kind of the importance level? We always hear elections are important, but what about this time? Is there anything this time that you feel a little differently about when it terms of going to the polls?
Well, I think, like you said, it's always important, and it's always important that we engage in, we have our voice heard. I just think that it's time. It's just time for us, like with everything that's going on in the world, it's time for just people of color to understand their power and understand that we have power to make a lot of change. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of it starts with us voting, but a lot of it starts with us just trying to be responsible, like myself and other people, and just playing our part. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think change starts with us, and change also starts with us voting. You know what I mean? Right. And if we get out there and vote, and we look at all the numbers of what cities, past Republicans or whoever may have won.
Right.
And you look at how many people didn't vote, how many people of color that didn't vote. It's like, dude, we could have changed. We could have been that change.
Right.
So it's just us getting out, man, and us, people who have a little spotlight to encourage and motivate. You know what I mean? Once again, like I said, we're not perfect. We don't know everything, but we can use our platform just to motivate and encourage people to get off their butt and do, be a part.
Right. And, I think it's interesting, too, is that, in previous elections and kind of before, even when candidates are talking to their voters, it's they always talk about Black people, they talk about Black women, but I don't feel as though there's ever been real conversation about Black men. And, when I saw the platform, seeing what you're doing, I think it was so important that we really focus on, of course, Black people, but Black men definitely have to, come out and do what they need to do,
Yeah, definitely. I think really, and it's hard, and these are tough times. These times are just so weird. It's just crazy. But for us right now as Black men, we have to come home.
Right.
We have to be a part of our community. We have to be a part of our families. You know what I mean? Whatever the obstacles are, we got to try to put those obstacles to the side, fight through them, and be a part of our families, be a part of our communities, because that's how the change is really going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, us as Black men, we have to step up. We have to step up and be responsible and encourage each other. You know what I mean? Like, we got to work together, man. We work together and encourage one another, stop tearing each other down.
Yep.
Man, it's no telling what we can do. We really can't be stopped. But but we got to wake up.
Right.
We got to wake up, but it takes time, and It's not something that's going to happen overnight.
Yep.
But, you know, if we all continue to encourage and be a part, be present, be in our communities, stop moving out the community when you get a little bit of money, you know, so it's just stuff like that. Like us understanding that, you know, how much power we really have.
And my last question for you is, what do you say to the people who say, you know, I don't like either candidates, so I'm not going to vote?
What's that?
What do you say to people who say, I don't like either candidates and I'm not going to vote?
Well, I understand that and they have that right, but I think there's a lot of people who died and fought for us to have this right.
Right.
And I think at a certain point, man, it's just respect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just so deeper than I don't like. No. Okay, well, which one do you like better?
Right.
Figure it out. But there, you know, people died for us to have this opportunity. So let's make sure we exercise our right. You know what I mean?
Right.
And just pick the best candidate. You know what I mean?
Perfect.
That's all I can say for me, man. Like, you know, for anybody who's done and paved the way for me, I'm gonna show that respect and I'm gonna walk that line and make sure I encourage and continue to motivate to make sure our people are just doing better, man. Of course.
That makes sense. You know, it's definitely a bigger picture, you know, and not voting just to say you don't like any person. That just takes for you to do, to your point, more research, dig in. You got to find something out of one of those two people that you can identify with or that you believe support. But can you give us that website again so everybody knows, if you are not registered to vote, where you can get more information at?
Yep, it's iamaman.vote. Go to the website, click through to take you to register and make sure your voice is heard. Yeah, definitely.
Perfect. Thank you, Todd, for taking the time out of your busy schedule. I see in the background, it look like you're working as always.
This is my new restaurant, Blaze Steak and Seafood. I'm not trying to plug it. I'm just telling you where I'm at.
Dope. In Atlanta, right?
Yeah, in Atlanta. So we have an old lady gang not too far from here. So basically what I'm doing, I'm just trying to open up, you know, great dining experience. And like I said, man, just trying to motivate.
Perfect.
Keep people, you know, inspired and, you know, show them we can do it too.
Yep.
Perfect.
Thank you, sir. I'm going to let you get back to it. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you are not registered to vote, please do so. Go to iamaman.vote. Get more information. Thank you, Todd. See you guys later. Thank you for tuning in.
Appreciate you. Thank you.